Welcome to Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. Join Stacy and learn from her 20 years of experience as she shares top-notch advice on marketing best practices for brands and walks you through how to leverage entertainment content and influencer partnerships to increase your brand's overall consumer engagement and, most importantly, your sales.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. I'm Stacy Jones, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to write a press release that can help you get media coverage for your medical practice. This is a four-part podcast and provides you with very easy steps for you and your team to incorporate into your own company to help drive PR awareness and make your appointment books even busier. Last week, I spoke about why your website's so important and what you need to do to make sure you have everything included in the website if you want journalists to pay attention to you and give you coverage. This week, we're going to focus on creating your press release, what to include in it, and how to get it distributed in front of media. You know you need these to stand out, but I bet you might not know exactly how to create a press release that gets noticed. So let's walk through exactly how you're going to do that. You need a press release, and you don't know where to start. I'm going to tell you how to make this one-page document, and it's probably the most important part of your media kit that you're going to be putting together. It's not necessarily an alternative to your story, because writing out your story and being able to pitch that and know what that is the first step so that you can then devise a press release that you can post as a second step. It's going to be a shareable document, and it's going to really pack a punch. The most important thing about it is it's going to be used to create a digital footprint of what your story is online. Even if no media picks it up, you're going to have it online so that when someone searches your name in certain keywords, that press release is going to come up and it's going to lend you more authenticity and a higher perceived value as an expert. First, you're going to decide what news you're going to communicate. That's your story. You're going to decide if your story is actually interesting and compelling enough, or how your story needs to change for a journalist to be willing to read it. Remember that journalists receive tens to hundreds of press releases every single day, depending on what market they're in. If you're in a small town, they're receiving a handful. If you're in New York or LA or another large city, they're getting potentially hundreds or even thousands of press releases on a daily basis. You want to keep it short and interesting. You don't want to go above 400 to 500 words total. You may want to or need to for a story to really get out all of the facts of it, but you want to try to keep it to less. The more mainstream press distribution services charge by the word count. So the more words you put in, the more expensive it gets. They typically charge about $200 for every 100 extra words, and it can add up quickly. Then you're going to figure out the structure of your press release. Okay, and there's 7 steps here just to this little component. First, you want to make sure you have a catchy title. Catchy titles are very important. If you don't have one, you probably are not going to have your first sentence read. So this is your one and only chance to actually catch the attention of that journalist. Secondly, you're also going to want to make sure that you have a short summary so that you're able to sum up and tease them to allow them to continue reading your entire press release. Third, your body of your press release is going to be 4 paragraphs or less. Fourth, you want to make sure that you answer the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, and why. Fifth step, you want to also make sure that you stick to your facts and don't oversell yourself. People believe in integrity and honor, and they're looking for truth. They're not looking for you to be an infomercial promising that you've serviced and handled and dealt with the entire world. Talk about your niche, your specialty. 6. The About section explaining who and your practice is incredibly important because that's a summary. It's not necessarily your story, but it's giving you that expertise angle again. You're not trying to establish your expertise in your story portion. You're just trying to make sure that's in your About section. Depending on how you're planning on distributing this, you may want to include videos and pictures that can be downloaded and attached to the release as well. And 7th, you also want to include at the bottom contact information on how to reach you. I often see press releases go out to different services where people have not added that at the bottom as not part of the actual press release content either. They think that, I'll just reach out to the service through that contact button. No problem. You want to make sure that you're propagating your actual contact information, your name, your email address, your Twitter or Facebook account, so that people can go and get more information and reach out to you easily. Your website, your blog, all that information. And then you've done it, you've written it, and you've proofed it over and over and over and over and over and over. And did I say over again? Make sure that everything is right. All your spelling, all your grammar, everything looks perfect. Have someone else proof it for you too. Now you're ready, since you have a press release, to figure out what you're going to do with it next. And there are several ways to distribute a press release. The first is to individually email journalists directly. Again, if you're in a smaller town, you might not have that many outlets that you can reach out to, and it can be very easy to spend a couple of hours online doing some research, finding out who the contacts are, and just sending them an email with it attached. That's fantastic. Even a larger market, you're going to want to do that. But in a smaller market, you might not need any other tool. You're also going to want to work with an online press distribution service. There's a lot of options out there. If you go online and you Google, you're going to find out there are just numerous ways that you can go about this. The biggest ones, like Cision, don't just act like distribution services. They actually have add-on subscription services. And what's powerful about them is that they actually will give you all of the contact information for all of the journalists, the editors, the bloggers, the TV anchors, the hosts, the producers, the segment producers, the news station owners even, so that you can have a very detailed breadth of having phone numbers and emails to start your PR planning process and begin reaching out. As in, you are going to get the information, you're going to pick up the phone, and you're going to make calls or email press directly. Not just their outlet, not just info at, not just the general editor. And someone on your team is going to do it. A little bit more affordable with just offering distribution options. You're going to be looking at some of the main companies like PR Newswire, MarketWire, or BusinessWire. All of these are going to be just about posting services where you have different options of how you want to post. With PR Newswire, for example, you can do it locally, you can do it nationally, you can go in and choose not nationally, but also an additional subset of a bigger impact with the technology or trade. You can choose what type of segments that you really want to go after and target. There's a lot of fine-tuning that you can do with these. Your less expensive sites are going to give you more of that digital footprint and less in the hand of the journalist opportunity. Your PR Newswires, your MarketWires, all of those, they're going to be getting and sending out that press release across people's desks into their email accounts. Your PR Web, your mass media distribution, PR Buzz, e-releases. What you're doing here is you're posting your press release online and you're getting exposure for it, and you're going to be able to go back and do searches. And what you're really creating is a story online where whenever, again, someone types in your name and a keyword, you're going to pop up. It's good for Google. It's good for searching. It's not great for getting people to write about you, but Google and SEO is super important for your practice too. So don't totally dismiss these options. Now that you have your press release and distribution plan, let's go on to media kits. What exactly is a media kit? Sounds overwhelming, but it's not. All it is all of your information packaged together to capture the media's attention. It's going to be used to support your goal for getting publicity. You're going to share it with all of those journalists out there, and you're going to decide what actually needs to be included. One thing that might be is your cover letter. You're going to want to write a cover letter that basically just sells who you are and why you're sending this information. Here, you're going to include all of the information about your story. Some media is going to need more information, and some media is going to need less information. But with everyone, you just want to make sure that you have this kit in hand, and you're able to send it and answer any questions they have. You also want to include your executive bio and your resume. You can really combine this and put this into one page so that you have an executive bio and then your CV underneath it. There's a lot of ways to do this, but you're not applying for a job, so you can be somewhat creative about it. You just want to make sure that they have the information there, what your history is. You also want to include a practice fact sheet. So, when were you established? What type of treatments do you do? What types of patients do you see? Whatever that might be, include it there. Then, within the cover letter, include what your procedure might involve, what the benefits are, how it actually overcomes different concerns, side effects, pain, discomfort. Case studies that you're going to feature also want to be included with this. You can really build this out. You're going to want testimonials, patient quotes. You can break this up into several documents or keep it into one long, streamlined document that really is organized and explains everything to the reader. You're also going to want to include frequently asked questions. So every time a reporter has a question, you want to have outthought them and come up with how to answer it, because you don't want to just be sitting there on the phone trying to devise that answer. You want to have had some pre-thought. You also want to be able to send this out so that they can really see you have a lot of information and credibility into it. Much better to be having a conversation with a journalist, give them your point of view and say, you know what, I have some additional information on this. I'm going to send it to you and you can include any of that in what you're writing. Any video and website information that you can include and social media link information as well that will lead them to more information is fantastic, because again, that is the number one source. People are going to be going on YouTube to look up to see what they can find out about you. They're going to be looking you up on Facebook. They're going to be going to your websites. They're going to start Google searching your name. That's really important because journalists want to make sure that whomever they're working with is the top of their game, an established expert. And again, that social media landscape, that website, that whole world of the internet is going to be your best friend for this. You also want to include a sheet, and it can be part of your bio or CV. of your media history and clippings. You don't need to show every single clipping and give them a CD and have them watching everything, but you do want to include the links. So if you have videos from you being on a different local news TV shows, make sure they're posted on a YouTube site or on your website and you're able to have a link to share. Then if you do have any brochures, you can always either include an e-link for that or an actual document. Even podcasts work here when you talk to someone about a point of expertise you have. So with your media kit, what are you going to do then? You're going to put it in that media center we talked about for your website. Very, very important for you to have that as a home base. You're also going to allow high-resolution pictures to be available, either emailed or instant download from this media center base that supports your media kit. You're going to consistently update your materials, not only in the media kit, but online, so they're always going to stay consistent. And you're going to consistently work on improving that story idea too. Then you're finally ready to share and you're going to distribute all this material, whether that is through individual reach out or if you're going to be targeting and sending out that press release on a broad basis and then following up. And following up is something you're going to do. In my next podcast, I'm going to walk you through the differences between paid media and earned media and discuss why you need to budget for PR just like you do for any type of marketing or advertising. Stop by HollywoodBranded.com for more tips. You'll also find our library, which has infographics, white papers, ebooks, and videos, or our blog.hollywoodbranded.com, which has hundreds of helpful hints on how to make brands, influencer, and entertainment content partnerships a success from the get-go. And visit learn.hollywoodbranded.com, where we've created a how-to learning platform for you to make an impact in your own business based on my over 20 years of expertise that includes videos, transcripts, and quizzes to make sure you truly understand the materials and can take massive action today for your own business. That's it for this episode. I hope it was helpful, and please let me know if you have any feedback. I'll see you next week. And as always, if you need a little or a lot of help, my agency, Hollywood Branded, is here to lend a hand. If you would leave a review or any questions I can address in the future, I'd really appreciate it, as your feedback helps me know my advice is valuable and interesting to you.
Are you ready to make the magic of product placement, celebrity event activations, or influencer partnerships help your sales? Visit HollywoodBranded.com to gain access to free content to learn which key tactics best fit your brand. You'll find surveys, webinars, daily blogs, ebooks, and guides, all created to make sure you have access to the best possible marketing practices. Let's make that entertainment marketing magic happen for you.